Welcome to the great debate between Exile Guy and Honest John.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to the great debate. Thank you for your questions. And remember, there's no subject too small or too big that Exile Guy won't try to answer it. So just put your questions in the comments section or post them as video responses, and we will answer them. And by the way, I know some of you are wondering when we're going to get to your questions. Please be patient. We're working on it. Now, John Paul Prime wants to know what we're going to do about this country's dependence on oil. And that is a tough one. I mean, we've been depending on oil for a long time, and every time we said we were going to change our ways, we haven't. But my answer starts with taxing the rich. We have to raise taxes on the rich, use some of that money to pay off our national debt, some of it for infrastructure, and some of it for research. Let me tell you something. The fuel of the future hasn't even been dreamed of or conceptualized yet. And it's not going to happen unless we get our shit together. We spend less than 3% of our budget on research. That's fucking ridiculous. The Chinese and the Russians are spending a whole lot more. The only way we're going to develop the things we need to develop for the future is if we give our scientists huge chunks of money and let them go fucking crazy. I hope that answers your question.
Well, John, that's a good answer. And research is a good thing and it needs to take place, but research takes a lot of goddamn motherfucking time. And it needs to be done, and we'll go ahead and do that. But the real problem is there's too many motherfucking people here, okay? And once you eliminate all the right-wing nutjobs, all the fundamentalist Christians, all the fucking crazies, once we get rid of these motherfuckers, we won't have the consumption needs that we have now. We just won't need as much oil. And not only that, but we will have a direct source of oil. Now, how do I plan to do that? Well, it's very simple. We're going to take all these crazy motherfuckers as soon as I'm elected, and we're going to send them down to motherfucking Texas. That means we're going to have wide open spaces in some pretty interesting places, and a lot of states are just going to fucking empty out, if you know what I mean. Once you get rid of the fucking right-wing motherfucking crazy-ass nut jobs, it's going to be, kind of peaceful and calm and everything, and we'll go down there and we'll get all these people down there and we'll kind of lock the door on them, if you know what I'm saying. We're going to lock the motherfucking door on them. And then, after the carpet bombing is done, and we'll just go in and get the resources. Well, what are the resources down there? Well, it's fucking oil, okay? So we'll take the oil and we'll use it up. And when everything's all fucking used up, we'll give the motherfucking place back to fucking Mexico where it belongs.
Dustin Jr., 1993, has asked, what civilization is most like Texas? And Dustin, thank you for your question. Since when does Texas have a civilization?
Well, I gotta say, John is right there, because after all, Texas really has no motherfucking civilization. Oh, there are a few people down there around the Austin area that you might want to save. Some creative kind of people, some people who are really kind of cool. And we might want to get them the fuck out of there before we start, blowing the motherfucking place up. But other than that, there's nothing in Texas that's even close to being a fucking civilization. Thank you very much for your question.
And Alex Hertz has asked this question.
Hello, great debaters. This is Alex Hertz, and thank you for taking my question. And my question for you is, Congress is broken in a great many ways, and a specific way that always comes to mind is that if the Republicans don't get everything they want and then some, they throw a temper tantrum and filibuster everything, and then at some point the Democrats will cave in and give them everything they want and then some, which only serves to reinforce the behavior. And so my question is, what steps do you plan to take to fix this problem with Congress?
See, Alex, Obama's problem was he expected the Republicans to cooperate and compromise for the good of the country. For a smart guy, he really was being pretty fucking stupid. I mean, he really wanted to work with these guys and to come up with solutions. And it should have taken him less than 10 minutes to realize that that wasn't going to happen. First thing I'll do is I'll pick a fight with these motherfuckers and let them know that they better not stand in my way. See, the thing about bullies is you slap them around a few times and they run home crying to their mommies. And if they threaten to filibuster, I won't let that bill be withdrawn. They'll have to stand there and do their little speeches for hours and days on end if it's necessary until they fucking drop. I bet they won't be so eager to call a filibuster if they know that they're going to have to stand there and do it. And once they've done that a few times, they'll do what the fuck I want. I hope that answers your question.
All I can say is, fuck them, alright? Just motherfucking fuck the motherfuckers. Do what you gotta motherfucking do. Do your job, do what you get paid for, or get the fuck out. There's plenty of room in goddamn motherfucking Texas for the whole goddamn lot of you.
Thank you all for watching The Great Debate, and don't forget to vote.